of this. So the key question becomes, how do you know which part's most important to you, right? And if you picked up your top 10 burning issues within your company, right? If you said whether it's inventory levels that's your problem, or whether it is customer service levels that's your problem, on-time shipments, depends on what the problem is, or a quality problem. The key question is, let's pick out your top 5 issues, go to do a root cause analysis, right? Once you've done a root cause analysis, you know exactly whether it's here, or here, or there, right? You know where in this picture it needs to be done, and then you actually figure out what big data you need to use. So one of the key things, and this was one of the things that we worked on with 2 clients, saying, when they said big data and big data analytics, the biggest problem they found was collection and investing in the hardware for that big data. But today you don't have that problem, because you can go on a flexible cloud. You can go on, whether it's an Amazon cloud, or Oracle cloud, whatever cloud that is, you can go on a flexible cloud, so you can grow your data as your process grows, right? So you can pick and choose a couple of big data elements that you believe, based off on your root cause analysis, pick and choose a couple of data elements, start collecting data for that, and work on actually creating an analysis and a structured data. Once you've done that prototype, you'd be able to expand that very easily, right? But like I said, for example, when our customer, they started doing channel inventory analysis, and they started doing TAM analysis, total available market analysis. And using that, both those, actually we have another story that we have published fully called Demand Sensing Story that includes both that channel inventory and the TAM analysis information to actually improve their forecast. And their forecast, you have to remember, this customer has products that have a 6-month life cycle, right? They start to finish is 6 months, and within that 6 months, their peak is probably in the 2nd month, and after that it's a decline. So they have to make sure that they have enough inventory, and at the same time not be stuck with obsolete inventory at the end of 6 months. So for them, that analysis on a weekly basis, or almost on a daily basis, is very important. And that's how they recognize that was their most critical function that they need to incorporate. And they are actually in a point where they're expanding further into more analysis. So how many of you now think of it as tribal knowledge and big data analysis are kind of similar? Can I start here?
Could be, as long as you know the data on which you want to collect.
Anybody have a differing opinion? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. So this is good information about different sources of knowledge and what big data is used for the data. But how do you present it? You mentioned a little bit about data, but that's, again, getting the data out.
Correct.
Let's say you wanted to present it on a dashboard to somebody who did that. What are some of the solutions?
Basically, one of the key things is to bring it in a structured manner and bring it directly into your demand planning system. Like I said, our analysis for both the time analysis information as well as the channel inventory analysis information, we were able to bring that as structured series into Demantra that actually showed up on those reports. People would see that as an indicator, right? And for another airlines client, for an airlines client, we did analysis on a leading indicator of flight schedules based off on patterns, on weather patterns, and that was it was manually input, but it was leading indicator that they would use to manage their spares inventory. This was a airlines client that was trying to manage spares across the US for servicing their airplanes, right? So you can bring it as an indicator. So you typically, the way you would bring it in, so when you talk about how would you bring it in, I think I have that somewhere, but you would bring it in either as a trend, right? As a trend indicator or a leading indicator. Those are the two favored ways of bringing in anything and presenting. So when your planner, your demand planner forecaster is seeing it, he's seeing a leading indicator to show how that leading indicator influences the rest of this forecast.
So just a related question. So
Go ahead.
to develop these type of skill sets, organizations, these are to some extent specialized skill sets.
Correct.
What kind of organizational changes are we seeing? Do they form a team? Do they just have one person who does this?
So actually the company that we work with, they formed what they call a center of excellence. So they created a center of excellence and their job was to just do analysis of the plan, right? They would do the plan analysis and provide the outputs. The planners would then come in the morning and look at these outputs, but basically their job used to be creating indicators, validating indicators, making sure that the data is accurate. So they put together center of excellence, and that's how they continue to grow their number of indicators. They're able to grow. So that's why I said you have to start with 1 or 2 indicators, and then you can continue to grow it.
Sorry, last question.
Go ahead.
What is kind of the size of this organization? I don't need to know the name, but the size of the business.
Their business is about $4 billion in size, and they put together a team of 3 people for their COE. So. But the COE was not just doing this indicator. They were also business analysts that were supporting their planning and stuff like that. So it's just that they were given this task of creating the indicators. So. Yes, sir.
I missed your first part, but my question is, the majority of data you described is either structured or can be structured. So if you compare 2 different approaches,
Sure.
one is OLAP analysis, the other one is big data analysis.
Correct.
Which one is more efficient, cost-wise or performance-wise?
I don't think I would be able to answer that question honestly. I'll be very honest about that. I don't believe I have done actually cost analysis on that. So, but if I were to wing it, I would say if you already have a lot of data on your EBS system that you're not using, if you have a lot of data within your data warehouse that you're not using, that would be your first place to go before you go off building. But again, actually, let me actually take that back. I would say you have to first look at where's your ROI, right? Where is your ROI going to come from? More than doing a cost analysis of structured and unstructured, I would say where's your ROI going to come from? Is your ROI going to come from improving this process? Is your ROI going to come from improving that process, right? And once you have that, you can go after which part of the data is going to influence that ROI for you and actually do it. So I believe there is an ROI in trying to do this. It's not that you are doing just an investment and it's nice to have. It's not like one of those things where people say, oh yeah, it looks good, it looks great, we like it because it's slick. No, this actually has an ROI in improving your supply chain.
Can I make a comment over?
Yes.
I would say from there, I would say all about opportunity cost. You go tackle what's more reflective. If you go tackle something that's going to take too long, I forgot your name, sorry.
Arun.
Arun, if it's going to take too long, then you need to really worry about, like you said, small chunks, spaces. You need to figure out what can you tap into quickly and effectively. And if it is, that's going to give you the answer. And more importantly, what is the business telling you? What is that process telling you that you need to do? That will actually characterize and tell you that's what you're going to go tackle.
Right. Any others? Okay. So that was my last slide, and actually I had just one slide in terms of best practice approach. One of the key things that we would recommend when you try to do something like this, as I think I talked about it, but the idea would be make sure that you evaluate the data that you want, evaluate your process, the impact to your process, and you evaluate how your organization can. I think valid question, how does your organization scale to actually support that? Once you've done that evaluation, then you go ahead and create a project plan to do that implementation. So that's pretty much it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.